Alright guys, welcome back. And like I said earlier, we're talking about jazz culture and the sound of legacy. Is jazz still alive in Nigeria? Well, I think it is. I guess, like I said earlier, is Adekunle Ayodeji, who is known professionally, Udutayo, known as Kunle Ayo, one of Africa's most respected contemporary jazz guitarists, composers and producers, known for his borderless music and contemporary jazz style. From Lagos to Joburg, his career has spanned collabos with legends like Kwalum Lagbaja, Hugh Masekela, and Olivia Tukudzi.
Yes.
Good to have you on the show. Welcome.
Thank you very much.
I also have foremost promoter, jazz connoisseur, Ayo Shadari. Welcome to the show this morning.
Shadi Bobo.
Yes, call him Mr. Shadi Bobo. Promoting jazz tirelessly for the past 20, 30 years. Nice to really have you on Silverbread today. Well, let me first start with Kunle Ayo. Do you think jazz music is still relevant in Nigeria's culture, current musical culture and scene?
Jazz has always been and would ever be relevant because, I mean, look, every genre, take gospel, I mean, what the guys are doing now, these are all phrases from jazz. It all emanated from jazz. What Afrobeat is doing, it all emanated from jazz. Fela started from jazz, and then he created Afrobeat, and then music then started doing other things, you know. And we've been able to fuse even our traditional stuff, your juju, your Fuji and all of that, into jazz, and jazz into all of that. So jazz is everly relevant. Yes, it's still very relevant.
I love that question. Yeah. Now, you are a jazz promoter. You've been promoting, of course, in charge of the International Jazz, Lagos International Jazz Festival. Now, Afrobeat has dominated, like you were saying earlier, that Afrobeat, everything is Afrobeat now, has dominated the mainstream today. How has that made jazz, you know, more difficult? Has it made jazz more difficult to sustain?
I don't even know how to answer this question. Because, you know, they make jazz look as if it's an orphan. But jazz is not begging, you know.
Right.
But let me just give you this example. Somebody died a few days ago at the age of 94.
Sonny Rollins.
He was playing till 94. Which, I'm not punching, which Afrobeats would play until 94? Do you understand? See, so the music may not be screaming or shouting. It's like a stream. Cool.
Endless.
You understand? So jazz is still relevant. Though not loud. Though not hitting the airwaves. And I'll tell you this, we don't even have a jazz culture in Nigeria. We don't.
After Jazz Hall, I don't know if we really have like.
No, we don't have a culture, but we have pockets. Yeah. So jazz is still relevant. There are people still listening, but maybe not as commercial as it should be, or bringing those commercial returns. But as Kunle said, it's jazz we play in church. Yeah. The phrases, do you understand? The elements of the music.
Right.
And forms that base. So steadily, yes, jazz is relevant. People are listening compared to about maybe 10, 15, 20. In the older days, we had jazz musicians, you know, Jazz 38,
right?
You know, and all that. Tunde Kuboye, but it is not. Yeah. Even my, you know, somebody that even calmed me down recently said, that's Uncle Benson Idoniji. But he said, jazz is not popular music. Let us be who and what we are. Don't let us force it. So, yeah.
Okay, let me ask you, how has the sound evolved over the years? Because Nigerian jazz has always had, like you said, elements of high life, Afrobeat, juju, traditional sounds. How has it evolved? Because you're playing over the years and performing all across. So how do you think it has evolved over the past 20, 30 years up until now?
Well, I guess definitely the evolution of jazz has been that infusion that we have seen, you know. People are able to, I mean, I remember when I started playing guitar in the 90s, we didn't have the phones where you didn't have access to internet, and we were limited. I remember we used to use cassettes. I used to score music from cassettes, and when that cassette cut, you have to find a way to put it to plaster it because you wanted to, you know, hear that phrase. I mean, I remember I would go and pay a DJ in those days, record bars. the record bar, the DJ will now help you put a Spyro Gyra album on a cassette because you didn't have access to records in those days. So we would then use those cassettes to score music. But because now we have access to the internet, people are on YouTube are able to learn. Jazz has kind of, opened up more to people, and we can hear it in all genres of music. People are now able to learn phrases faster than we used to in those days. So I think that, it's a good time for us to then, make it a bit more commercial. Like you're saying, I mean, it's music for a selected few, but I don't believe it's only for elite or old people. I think yourself would definitely enjoy, I mean, there was a year or a time or a season that year where Kenny G,
millennials enjoy it. Where millennials, yes. I don't know if they will enjoy it. The Gen Zs.
They will, because nobody's introducing them to it. Nobody's really playing. I mean, those days it wasn't like we had once we hear it, we like it, and then over time it grew on us because there were radio programs and TV programs that would talk about these things. I mean, there was a time for country music and reggae, and people enjoyed it. So if the airwaves is full of those type of things, people will enjoy it. They would definitely enjoy it.
Let me ask them, Shadari. Now, the fusion of jazz, you think that the fusion of jazz with Afrobeat sort of has helped your listeners connect, or they just don't think
the fusion of jazz into Afrobeat?
Yes, jazz with Afrobeat and Afrocentric sound. Because what you hear, the reason I say that is there's some songs, if you're a music lover, you hear some normal songs that you hear the entire looping of jazz in it. Even on the sax and all those things. So you might not know if you're not paying attention to it.
There was one time, there was a Kiss Daniel.
Yes.
There was I want to have a good time. Let us play. He uses the horn section.
Yes.
The jazz.
Even Ricardo Banks are using Rora.
Yes. So yes, there are people still infuse this. Now let me give you the catch. When they are now, I won't say forced to play live band. Right. Who did they go and get?
It's the jazz guy.
The instrumentalist are jazz musician. So when the guy is like, he says, okay, if you are still doing session, then they bring you in to play with the Afrobeats guy. Yes. You can't force it if you strum and you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So so it kind of influences that. But another thing I just want to say is jazz is expensive. You buy the equipment, you have to practice live music, unlike digital music.
Right.
So it's easier to do digital music than getting the guitarists, getting the to all play together. So maybe the expense of jazz makes it, there's an effort to bring them together now than sit down here and put everything together digitally.
What do you think Nigeria has done enough to build a strong live music culture? I don't know if I should ask Kunayo that, if Nigeria has done enough to build, because you are based more in Joburg, in South Africa, but you also come here. But do you think that Nigeria has done enough to build a strong live culture, music culture?
Strong live music culture, I would say, compared to the outside world, no. We have not done enough, but we are trying. I mean, it evolved. So we must understand that we can't take away when the economy is okay to when people are struggling to eat. Because music is, when your belly is full, then you would appreciate music more. So because we have a challenge of economic hardship and all the insecurities and all of that, it kind of affects, music. The greater number of people that would actually be able to come into that space and really enjoy live music are probably trying to say, okay, will I buy petrol 10,000 to go and watch a show, or should I just buy rice or buy Gary? So that affects the appreciation of jazz. I believe strongly that Nigerians, we're all over the world, and I see them. They go out, they really appreciate when there's no issues of, okay, I'm struggling to make ends meet. So once the economy gets better, hopefully things will get better by the grace of God.
I like how you put that. Okay, let me ask you, what's the biggest challenge that jazz musicians currently face in Nigeria? The biggest challenge? Are there enough sponsorship, institutions, support, or platforms for jazz?
You're even throwing back. You know now.
Yes.
That's it. It's not popular music. It's not commercial. It's not the music that immediately will attract to a venue 10,000 people, except it's the big act.
Yeah.
Do you understand what I'm saying? Unlike the bigger popular musician. And we're not, I've stopped making excuses for it. I've not resigned and say, no. We're enjoying what we're enjoying. Yeah, so those are the challenges. Sponsorship, we will take we will take it there. It's like, well, let's help you. The music is not, but how many people would listen? Oh, it's big man music. It's a little, you hear a lot of stuff, but you just keep forging ahead. And I believe it's because we enjoy initially the music. Yes. Now, you said something I just want to address. Live music culture. Somebody, a South African said something. Differentiate between live music and jazz. Please. In clubs, you have a repertoire.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bands playing.
Yeah.
Almost every day in different lounges. They may not play jazz, but they are playing live music. On Saturdays, Fridays, maybe burials, receptions, it is standard. The South African lady said it. She said, I love Nigeria because any small music, they have a live band and they have what? A DJ. They don't have a jazz band, but they have a live. So live music is alive, so to speak. You have the vintage bands, sharp bands, ebony band, a lot, high school band, playing repertoire. Once in a while during the night, they may play a jazz tune or the other. So live music scene is not too bad. You understand? When you're having a wedding or anything, the woman feel, I will say to you, woman feel band this
yes.
before DJ, then they will put DJ too. Do you understand? So live music, yes. And somehow the economy, because they will put together any amplifier and mixer, just let us have that live music there. But is it jazz music? That is the commodity. So there's the commodity and the brand.
Okay.
So jazz is a brand. Yeah.
Okay, I'll still come to you, but let me ask you, your music blends multiple African influences in what you call borderless music.
Yes.
What has that journey taught you about Africa's identity in music?
I think that working in Nigeria and out of Nigeria has kind of opened me up to understand that music is music. Now, he said something about people playing live music and not jazz. Jazz is a genre of music that once you understand, you are able to add it to juju, add it to. So jazz has 12 notes, which the 13th is the octave. Now other music would have 5 pentatonic scale and all of that, but jazz uses all the 12 notes. Now, because I have that information, I'm able to see how can I then add that to my akbala. So it influences all genres of music as a matter of knowing. Once you understand and you have kind of studied, how jazz is then interpreted. Sometimes we mistake, we assume that when you play, a live band plays and it's instrumental music, then that is jazz. It's an element of jazz. However, there's certain notes or there's certain phrases that if I hear somebody play, I will know that, okay, he understands jazz music.
Wow.
You see what I'm saying?
It's quite interesting. But also, just before I come to Shadeway, now you shifted towards mentorship. Why is that?
Right.
Mentorship and cultural preservation.
Yes.
Why is that important?
Because, I mean, what we have learned, people like your Lagbaja, people like your Huma Sekela, people like your Oliver Mutukudsi, people like your evangelist Ebenezer Obey, they impacted my life, and I think the only thing one can leave as one gets older is to then start, leaving it also for younger people who are interested, to say that, okay, lived out of Nigeria for over 20 years, come back home now, going back and forth, what have you learned? I'm willing to share. How do you play certain notes? It was saying something yesterday that I play 3 notes in a small bar. Now, those things I'm willing to share if there are people who are willing to learn. So as much as one gets higher, you also then want to drag people along with you. So we're able to do those kind of mentorship things. And also culture, because Brahim told me, Huma Sekela told me that you can only give what you have. You can only, I am a Yoruba man, and in all my songs you can hear it. You can hear Olele tomato. Things,
Everything.
songs that I've learned growing up, I try to incorporate it. Even when I take a Joromi, for example, Victor Wife's Joromi, I don't approach it like everybody would. I would find something, an angle before we now go to where we are going. So it's always very important to then put culture into the music, and of course, teach other people.
Okay,
so I wanted to say something I learned about jazz. You see, when we were booking jazz musicians, mostly the internationals, people like Richard Bonner, Gerald Albright and co, one thing they would ask is, hey, are you going to allow us to do master classes? The jazz musician he wants to do a master class. When you're having a jazz festival, it's master class. And so it was a recurring thing with them. So you book them, and they're going to ask you, I want to do a master class. I want to talk to people. I want to do a drum master class. Right. So I found out that the jazz musicians always wanted to share to the next generation. Yeah. Now I've booked also other genres. Pay me my money. I'm serious. So those are the kind of things. So, yes. So the education, the mentorship, the discipline. Do you understand? The effort is deliberate. Okay. That is what I see.
Let's talk about the Live Naija Super Session Residency. What inspired the initiative?
Yeah, what inspired the initiative is, we have. Well, first of all, the Dolly's restaurant approached and said they wanted to have something alongside jazz. And earlier this month, we just celebrated Benson Idonije, Fela's first manager, a music and a jazz critic and a veteran broadcaster. And it's going to be 90. So, based on all that, we had a small, something for him, a show for him under the Lagos International Jazz Festival. Then the Dolly's guys says, we want to have this. And we said, okay, but we would like to do it properly, as they do it abroad and in other places. We want to have a residency once a month, do you understand, where people come in the city of Lagos and they actually sit down and listen to jazz. And it's going to be well publicized, not under some bushel, so to speak. So those are the things. And we feel that rather than staying a whole 12 months to do a festival, we kind of broke it down. So, from the big size to the chunk size, and have it in different areas. So that's what influenced that.
So when is it coming up?
Tomorrow, Saturday, 30th of May. And we're having, I don't think there's any better person or artist here. And she should have been here, but she says, look, help me apologize. I have to rehearse. Tomorrow you're putting me on the spot. He, Kunle Ayo, and Fabian, the Saxo Queen, will be at the Dolly's Resto Lounge in Victoria Island here. And they will be opening the launch of it. It's going to be happening every last Saturday. So they're going to be seeing me here.
Nice.
We're bringing more people to talk about this. So I think jazz culture too in the city of Lagos is beginning with this being revived.
Okay, just to quickly building up to wrap up, what's in the works? I mean, you've done impressive albums over the years, and of course, just to mention that you've won so many awards, the Channel O, Cora Awards. In case people didn't know, you've had so many awards. So, are you putting up new albums, or is just focusing on mentorship? What's in the works in the closet?
So I mean, we're always creating music. We're always doing stuff. We're doing another tour this year of the UK, and definitely we'll be dropping what they call singles now. And I never do singles. I never used to do singles, but because of the social media now, we have to then throw one song here. Yes. After 3 months, we throw another one. So we have a couple of stuff that we're working on, and there's another project that we're going to be working on with Inspiro Production. Just different ideas. There's so much that we'll be dropping every now and again.
Okay.
So much to look
so my
forward to.
question, Shadari, is how can jazz become mainstream, or is it that it's just about preserving its identity? The reason I'm asking is because, just to as a wrap up, can it be mainstream? Where are we going to with the future? Is it possible? Is it possible? And again, for young people who want to go into jazz.
I'm very automatic. Camila is speaking in native tongue. It's not going to. The power of life and death again is in the tongue. So it depends on what. Yes, again, who's pushing? Somebody said to me a few years back, he said, Ayola, you have put jazz on steroids in Nigeria, in that you're promoting it like Afrobeats. Like Afrobeats is being promoted. Do you understand what I'm saying? So yes, jazz would. Again, if we allow everybody there, everybody now. No, so jazz is like single malt. Going finish. It's not Coca-Cola.
Because it just takes one young artist to just put those loops. Put those loops in the jazz, and then it blows up. It's not impossible.
No, but let me tell you something else. That again,
and then you say it's borrowed jazz, but it's still jazz, even if it's not live. And then when
it's improvised.
It's improvised. That's what I'm saying.
Kunle, I was listening in the last 2 days. I've been listening to Kunle's music again, especially the Sholebo stuff, and it's like yesterday's. It's fresh. Jazz is evergreen.
Or say Bonaba just picks up his loops and then uses it and then.
Okay, now let me tell you. I won't tell you who told me. They say, look, there's a difference between evergreen music and today I'm going to say this. It's called the disposable music.
Okay.
That's what I learned. That's why I told you that you will still listen to a Pharaoh Sanders and I said, Bongoti Baba. You remember what he played here? But there's some other songs that. Before you, but jazz will be jazz, and we are doing everything to promote it. But I want to tell you that you should watch this space. Please watch this space, and we're going to make it more appealing. You see, there was the bebop and straight ahead jazz, which the younger guys did not like. There's one guy I thought I was a jazz head. Akisuliri, he came to Cape Town. I think we were together. Akusu, the Nigerian guy in America, he plays the trumpet. Guy.
This I feel what was going on. This is music heads, but anyways.
I couldn't. No.
But just
even me.
Quick fire question. Let me ask you, Kunle, jazz or Afrobeats, which is your favorite?
Of course, jazz.
Harder instrument to master, the guitar, I think, is the sax or the sax. Guitar or sax?
Sax is hard.
It's hard.
Sax is hard because I tried both, and sax is harder.
One Nigerian artist you love to jazz fuse with?
It's difficult. I love the three of them. I love Wizkid, I love Davido, and I love Burna Boy. So any of them.
Can I answer for that?
Yes, very quickly.
For that one?
Okay, yes.
I think you would love to do a Davido.
That'd be nice.
Anyway, I love the three of them. So
remember the last song was with but continue.
So we need to wrap up right now. One word to describe Nigerian jazz today. One word.
Evolving.
Evolving. All right.
Watch that. Evolving. Watch this space.
All right. Thank you so much. It's always good to have voices of music come up again. It's just not Afrobeats, but yes, as much as we say jazz is dead, there's still a market and a space for it. I love how South Africa promotes jazz music. They're very culture conscious. I think they are conscious than Nigeria.
So the South Africans?
Yes.
They have a jazz culture.
Look at that. They have that.
A culture. Them Hugh Masekela, Miriam Makeba, Kaya Fasemaya.
Okay. We need to wrap up this segment. Thank you so much. Like we always say, trends may change, but true music never disappears. Thank you so much, Kunle and Ayo Shadari, for coming on the show.
Thank you for having us.
We'll take a break. We still have more conversations. Don't go anywhere.
Thank you very much.